Hello, hello, it's Carrie, So Much Glitter. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you guys here. If you've not done so already, please subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I come out with new content. You'll also be notified when I go live, and I go live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I would like you to share this with a crafty friend if you find something here that inspires you, so you can like and share and we can all create together. So please join me around the craft table and let's take some time out for some self-care today. I'm going to be creating my craft roulette card. So it's going to be a special celebration of a craft roulette card because I am going to be entering Club 52. That's right, you heard me. I'm going to be entering Club 52 with this craft roulette card, so I'm very excited to get going. I wanted to pull up craft roulette and I can show you how easy it is to submit a contribution. So what I'm doing is I'm just pulling craft roulette up, and I'm going to be submitting an episode I'm going to be submitting a card for episode 309, where the parameters are mini slimline, the colors are jolly, the element is in the kitchen, and the random is mask or masking. So I'm hoping that you'll join me for this video and comment if you play craft roulette and what submission number you are on. It's only taken me over 2 years to get here. Let's be fair. I am very busy, and sometimes I don't get to watch craft roulette every weekend, and sometimes I'm on every Friday, and then sometimes during the weekend I'm tied down with responsibilities and whatnot, so I don't get to watch the replay every weekend. But I'm here today. I'm glad to share this with you. And I wanted to get out my stretchy pants and really stretch those parameters today because I have a kit that I have been dying to continue to play with, which is the Book Club kit. I was going to say Book Love, but for me it is. And this is from Craft Smith, but this is a Michael's paper collection. I bought this when the paper pads were on sale for $4.99. So I have a few ideas for this because you're probably thinking the element is in the kitchen. What are we going to do with book club in the kitchen? Well, I'm about to show you guys. Okay, so I have some papers already picked out that I have been dying to play with. And I don't know about you, but I love cookbooks, and I love vintage cookbooks, and I love collecting cookbooks. And you guessed it, I love putting those on display in my kitchen. So that's where this is going to come into play with the project, or the element of in the kitchen. The project is mini slimline, so I'm also going to stretch my stretchy pants a little bit farther. I am going to put a mini slimline card front on a 5x7 card base. So we're wondering, how is that going to work? Well, I have been creating a journal out of the Book Lovers Journal Kit, which I'll pull out for you in just a minute. I'm going to make a 5x7 card base first, and I'm going to make it out of the thicker material. I didn't want everything to be the same color, and that's just kind of how it ended up when I pulled these down out of my paper closet. So I have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper here. I am going to cut this down on the long edge to 10. And while I get that going, we'll kind of explain what I like to do with my journals. Now, I'm still getting to know this trimmer just a little bit. So I'm trying to line it up just so. Trimming it on the long edge 10. Flip it over, and then I'm going to trim it to 7, and then we're going to score it at 5. So then I'm going to have to get out my scoring board. But I also want to do the element of the mini slimline card, and I'm just going to be making a card front, and that is a 3.5 by 6. So I'm going to trim this down to a 6, and I'm going to be over here saving all of my scraps. And then we are going to do a 3.5, and that's going to be a mini slimline. This is a mini slimline card front. So this is going to go right on the front of my 5x7 card. I'm going to get out my scoring board. My old trimmer used to be a trimmer and scoring board in one, and I really love and miss that. But I cannot find replacement blades for it. And that was a I thought I found replacement blades for it. I'm going to go ahead and score this at 5. But it turns out it was for a different model of trimmer than mine. So I just have my We Are trimmers sitting down here with my Horde O trimmers, waiting for We Are to replace my original cut and score board with proper blades. Now you see I didn't fold that up perfectly. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to flip it over. So I kind of want to measure it up to make sure it's a 5x7. It is. This is going to go on top. I want to make this a pocket. So let's get back out the trimmer. And I hope I have a collection of trimmers down here on a little shelf below me, and they tend to fall over. So I'm going to get this out. Let's get this back out. Okay, because we have the element is in the kitchen, I wanted to make sure that we had all this pulled up. Okay, so we have Project Mini Slimline. Check, right? We've got that down. Okay, I'm putting a mini slimline card front on my 5x7. Colors, joy colors. Any color that brings you joy is going to count as joy colors, because remember, this is your art project, and if you can interpret it within the parameters, then you can create it. So I'm going to put joy colors with flowers because I do love flowers in my kitchen, and I'm going to have the flowers be the card front for the 5x7. I am going to have the shelves be the card front for my mini slimline. It seems like it could be a little bit opposite, but I want to pull forward the element of in the kitchen because we have some fun teacups. We have pots of wheat and flowers, and we have our books that would be in the kitchen. So that's how I want to do that. Now, random is mask or masking, and this is what kind of tripped me up just a little bit, and I hope I'm still in frame. This is what tripped me up just a little bit because I'm not really doing any stamping. How am I going to mask something off? I got out all my stencils. None of them made sense. But if you were with me on my live this past Sunday, you will know that I just could not help myself, and I tried to put them back. And let's see if I put them correctly. I purchased... oh, here they are. I purchased some distress spritz, and I purchased more of a neutral pack. So I don't know if these are going to work necessarily, but what I want to do is I want to kind of mask this off, and I just want to spritz to give just, we kind of want to zhuzh up the card front just a little bit. I might end up using some distress spraying to bring more of that joy color in there, but I'm not really sure yet. So why are we doing all of this? Why are we like really getting out our stretchy pants? Well, it's midweek after work, so that's what we do. But I also want to create a card for the journal I've been working on. This is a journal kit I did purchase at Michael's. It was on sale for $14.99. And this is a grid dot paper journal. You can do create what you will. You can draw on it. This is a really good pattern for designs, but I started putting together this journal, and I always like to put a card in my journals with like a belly band or whatever, and I thought this would be perfect for any book lover as myself. So we'll be kind of playing with that too. Let's do the spritz first because we want to let that dry, and I'm going to have to turn on the fan next to me. And I think I have that on low. I think my phone, the phone that I film with, noise cancels too. So things will sound really loud to me, but when I go back to replay them, I was like, oh, like that got canceled out. So that happened. So you don't pick up on all the sounds that I get. Now, a nice neutral color I thought would be good for this. Okay. So I really thought like a silver, or we have like a frozen fog mica stain, which is like a pearlescent. I thought that that would be nice. Oh, we have mustard seed. That's going to be a little bit too yellow. Wild honey. Antique linen. So I was kind of debating between these two. So I have the antique linen or the fog, and I'm really liking the antique linen. The distressed mica stain is going to be a little bit more like opaque, which is more color. The distress spritz will have to be layered upon to get the full coverage effect. But as you can see, like they both have the similar stains in them. Like they both have the mica in them. So that's really nice. So I just have these off next to me. I have two different doilies, and if you watched any of my faux February, you can see that I created faux doilies, and I did that with my sprays, not the distress spritz, but I did do it with my micas and the oxides. Okay, so I'm kind of going to go with this one because it's a little bit more intricate, and I think I'll get a little bit of a better pattern. I could try both as well. I don't have my slap box here. So for now, we're just going to shake this up, make sure we get that ball bearing in there. I'm going to set this off to the side. And honestly, this is going to count as masking because whatever is white and paper isn't going to get picked up on. It's not going to transfer down to. So if that makes sense. It's just the parts that are showing are going to transfer onto the paper. Okay, so let's just start spraying everywhere basically. Okay, and then this is a perfect opportunity. So this can be one of my faux doily techniques. You know, like the crochet doilies that we all had when we were younger, and my mom had them in our house when I was younger, made from her grandma handmade. And I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm going to set this off to the side. And then we're going to start with the 5x7. Okay, so I have this next to me on a flat surface in front of the fan. And it's fairly dry out in my climate today. And let's, before we get too far into the weeds over here, let's just wipe this down. I'm not really worried about it getting everywhere. I'm not really worried about it getting on myself. I take a shower before I go to bed during the week. I try to every day, but on the weekends I tend to wake up and kind of get going with, you know, that. But definitely during the week, because I like to settle down with a good book and, you know, wake up really early and color and kind of get some me time in before I have to get to serving the masses for the mental health of America. Okay. Let's cut this down 5x7. I think it would be good to maybe do a little bit of a border. And I don't necessarily need to do like a huge border, so I'm just going to start with, I don't even think it's like, is that half? No, it's not even half of an inch. It's like 1/4 of an inch. And a lot of borders are like 1/8 of an inch. So you just kind of do the border how you want. You do you, don't freak your freak. See, that's even still really little. Like that's a really small border for me. So I'm just going to cut this down just a little bit. Okay, so if you've been watching me for some time, you know I do not like stark white borders. I do not like a lot of white space. I always try to knock that back. But then sometimes I like a little bit of a border. But hey, a girl can have options, can't she? We can all have opinions. We can have options. I mean, it just was International Women's Day, where we are all celebrating each other and empowering each other and lifting each other up, especially in the crafty community. So that was a lot of fun. Okay, I am going to just glue this down. I did not put my glue press lid back on after I was done crafting a few days ago. So shame on me. But what I did do is I did clean out the lid under hot running water and made sure everything came out nice and clear. So it shouldn't be too clogged. You just have to kind of do those maintenance pieces in your craft room every once in a while. I've downsized my crafty space quite a bit in the last 2 years. So I'm going to set this here, just kind of hope for the best. I have a few extra seconds because it's wet glue. I say hope for the best really fast and then try to move it, thinking that that's how we're getting it, right? Because I have to be looking at things head on, and sometimes if I stand up and look down, I don't know, my vision, you know, the closer to 50 I get, the vision gets a little bit more tricky. So I need to schedule my exam with my optometrist. So this is going to be the cover, the card front of the 5x7. So we're kind of waiting for the other one to dry a little bit, which I'm filming. So you're like, well, you could have edited this out and, you know, gone that way. But if I'm not anything, I am honest, and I'm here for self-care. So I want to get the full process with you guys. You can kind of see what crafting is like in my craft room in real time and see how kind of all of the executive decisions are made regarding projects, right? Okay, so I want to stick with the Joy color. I think that this, I think I probably cut it crooked and I should have used my trimmer, but I decided otherwise. So I might have to trim this down just a little bit, because to me that looks a little bit wonky. But it could be the way that my glasses are sitting on. But let's do this just in case anyway. Trim it down just a little bit more. We'll get a nice even trim. And that way we know that it's going to be fitting in our, I'm just going to trim it down a few lines, right? We know it's going to be fitting in our little mini slimline pocket. Okay, so there we go. Right, it could have printed a crooked as well, but you can't tell when it's around a lot of other ones. And I'm just probably being a little bit too finicky. I do have these pens as well that I got at Michael's with all of this book lover stuff, because I love books. Do you guys love books? Like, I don't know. I call it my book paraphernalia is what I call it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back in. We are going to remove this and see how you just get the essence of the doily. This is not by any means any mixed media watercolor paper. It's a regular schmegular low weight craft paper, right? It was $4.99 at Michael's. I know what I'm getting into. I am going to let this dry a little bit more though, but once I cut it down and I put it on my card fronts, it'll be fine. We will be fine. The wet glue will help adhere it a lot more. So when I come back, we're going to be cutting this down. This is going to be all dry. And as far as you know, I didn't go anywhere. Okay, so this is dry. I don't think like all the splats and everything are perfectly dry, but I think it's just dry enough to where I can cut it down and I can use it. It looks probably, I don't know if you can tell, it might look wet in here, but this Distress Spritz, this is antique linen. It has more of a shimmery effect. And I just thought that that would be fun to put on the front with the whole mini slimline. Now, since I have the mini slimline card front, this is going to work nicely because this is going to be a pocket. This is going to be glued down on the front of it. Okay, so I did get a few more little accessories out while we were waiting for it to dry. And we want to do the 3.5 by 6. Now this is 12 by 12 paper, so it honestly doesn't really matter how I cut it down. This is directional, so we do want to do the 3.5, and it's gonna rip just a little bit because remember, it's just the regular schmegular $4.99 paper that we're really appreciative for, but it's not gonna be like a watercolor kind of property for the paper. And I'm okay with this. I think that this is perfectly fine. And this will go on the front. I also have, oh look, maybe another little mini slimline card front as well. So I got 2 mini slimline card fronts out of that one. And then I have some fun little leftover scrap paper with some of the Distress spritz from my masking, remember, because that's one of the elements. Okay. So we're almost done with our card. Like, this is going to be a pretty quick card. It's still a little bit wet on the back. Like I said, I like to do all of my crafting in real time. I'm not like an editing magician. This isn't like, I don't know. I'm just not. Okay. So that got a little bit wet. It's a little bit wrinkled. I am not going to freak my freak. I am just going to put it on here. Kind of get it into place. And put it down. And maybe get a little towel out. See, I have these microfiber towels sitting next to me. And I need to learn to only have one out at a time. What I do is I dirty them all up, kind of throw them in a pile next to my craft desk and on laundry day when it's towel time. And that did smear a little bit, but I'm okay with that. We're going to decorate the front of it as well. Okay. So they all get washed at the same time. They all come back out at the same time. So they all kind of get used around the same time. And I just thought that this was going to be a fun little addition to the masking. And I do want to make this a pocket, so this will come in and out. But look, lo and behold, I found some washi tape as well that came with that junk journaling kit. And I might want to, I'm going to glue this down in regular pocket style like we would any journal. So let's do that first because I can jump ahead. I'm going to put my thumb where I do not want to put the glue, just as my cue to not glue over my thumb, because that's where we want the pocket to slide in and out of. And I'm going to try to even this up kind of the best I can. Flip it over. I might want to put some washi tape where the library card's going to slip in and out of. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is a real stretch, but hey, it's craft roulette. It's our art project. We have our stretchy pants on. We're not worried. Like, how does this really fit in within the kitchen, right? Maybe this is a recipe card. Maybe we're at our friend's house making cards and we want to go through their cookbooks because that's what friends do. And we want to swap some recipes and we can write it down on here. Maybe we want to give our friend a recipe book and we want to put a Barnes & Noble or whatever gift card in here and just kind of slide that in and out of. But we want a little bit more of a cue of, hey, like that's a pocket, right? So to stabilize it just a little bit, because remember, it's the regular schmegular paper. We want to put some washi tape down. Okay, so because it's regular schmegular washi tape too, and that's the beauty of washi tape, it's very low tack. So I am going to be putting a little bit of glue right here. So we're like turning this into a mixed media project with all these regular schmegular products that aren't really meant to be like mixed media projects. Okay, so I'm going to get in the way here because, hey, that's what I do. And I'm just going to glue this down. And then we're going over just a little bit as our low tack regular schmegular washi tape is trying to take our book recipe card away from us. Okay. Let me get out my well-loved crafty cloth here and kind of wipe that off. And then I'm just going to cut this. See, it did rip that a little bit because that paper's been treated. That paper has been treated. So we're just going to kind of tear it up just a little bit and set this aside. I do want to trim this off just a little bit. And I'm just going to take my little craft knife. It may not work how I want it to. Of course, it's not going to because I am trying to will it to happen. But it's okay. We'll like be gentle with it. Okay. And just tear that up so we're not, it's not like going over. It's just kind of a real even little border right there. And that just kind of adds a little bit something to the project. I want to put it blade side down because Well, I can be a calamity. Okay. But we want these jolly colors. Oh, now I glued it all the way down, didn't I? I really thought like I had something going here. Okay, no worries, no worries. I like glued it shut unknowingly, didn't I? Crafty accidents happen all the time. Oopsies in the craft room, if you will. Okay, so I did. I'm not going to stress about it. I just kind of sliced it open again with my little craft knife. Okay, so there's the pockets back, guys. We didn't screw it up too much. The pocket's back. Okay, so we have all these jolly colors because I love all these colors together. It's springtime is coming, but we do want to make this stand out a little bit. So I'm going to take some of my tea dye, Distress Oxide, hoping that you guys can see what I'm doing. And I am just going to ink it up a little bit because that's really just going to kind of make it stand out a little bit. I'm not too careful about how I ink it up. No worries. This is the beauty of why I got into junk journaling, because there are no mistakes in junk journaling. And I love card making. Scrapbooking is my first paper love, but sometimes in card making, I always feel like I'm doing something wrong or it doesn't look as perfect or linear as other people, like their projects or like how the designer made it or whatever. So I got into junk journaling because I thought, you know what? It's okay to be perfectly imperfect sometimes. And that's part of my self-care journey, is embracing that about myself. So now I incorporate that into my card making too. And once you just like embrace the imperfections and the beauty of the imperfections and the individuality of the imperfections, you're going to create a work of art every time. You really, really are. Okay. Of course, you know, nothing's a 5-star book unless we want it to be. We could color in these stars if that's what we wanted to do. We could get really, zhuzhed up if we want to. We have other like stickers. We could kind of just decide how we want to do this. We could put this here if we want to like write in a little sentiment. Perfect. Our tea, our coffee, and our glasses. Like, gosh, this book set knows me very well. So I just think it would be fun to do one of these down in the corner of the card front. And I am going to pick out the red because I think the red is going to be a nice contrast. I am doing a few little swirlies of glue with that because I do want it to stick down, because this sticker felt a little bit like the washi tape. Okay. And because we did our masking technique right here, that kind of decorates it. Like, we could be done. You could be done perfectly fine. We could write our message here. We could write our recipe here. We have a message spot on the back with glue. That's nice. However we kind of want to do that, you know, would be up to you as the creator. I love all these fun little stickers that this came with. I just think it was really clever. These are stamps. So these have like the stamp, like the stamped edges. So these are like faux stamps. That's really a lot of fun. This kit just came with so much. Regular price is $19.99. I wouldn't purchase it for $19.99 because I could just end up collecting this stuff, and gosh knows I have, right? Gosh, God knows I have is what I meant to say. But, and so, you know, this is like little borders. Flower bed is always appreciated in the kitchen. I think maybe we'll kind of border this down here. Let's get this going. This could even be a pocket if we really wanted it to. Like, I'm not going to go all that crazy with it. But I do want to put this in my junk journal as well. So, hey, I could, because this could be like perfect time for some extra tuck spots. Okay, so I glued the card first because I didn't really know how long it was going to be. Honestly, I didn't want to spend the time measuring it and remeasuring it and doing whatever I gotta do. So we just trimmed it down a little bit. And then if you're a member on Craft Roulette, you have until Thursday to submit as a member. Oops, now I'm cutting the card base. If you're submitting, you don't have to be a member to play Craft Roulette, to watch Craft Roulette, none of that. I wasn't a member for like the first year that I did this, but we're not able to always make the Sunday deadline. So what I did was I joined for $5 a month, and now I have till Thursday, and it's not due on Wednesday. So this will have plenty of time to get where it needs to go, right? Okay. So I could put the stars on the front, which might be a little bit fun. Like, oh, here's a 5-star book. See, my eyes failed me again. This card is a 5-star card. So we want to put it down here. Again, we could fill in these cards or these stars. Like, we could do whatever we want. I want to showcase the flowers on here because I do like flowers in my kitchen. I like the books in my kitchen. So I just kind of want to put that on the edge. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we could put a fun little, life is really cutting into my reading time. Like, preach. This is really cute. This came with pockets. The pockets aren't glued down. Like, they're just hot glued. So if you wanted to glue them down, you really could. This paper pack came with a lot more too. So yeah, you know, we could really, really get in with home is where the books are. Okay, so that's where I want to go. Ooh, we could have the home, or we could have the little flower wreath. I mean, what do we want to do? I don't know. I like this, so we can put this up here. Again, I'm doubting the longevity of the stick here, how this is going to stick down. So I'll just kind of try to put this as even as I can. Like I said, I sometimes have to I have to look on to things, like straight on. So, okay, so that's going to go there. I was also thinking for the inside, where did it go? Where did it go? These, I believe, yeah, these, or this, and we could like write a sentiment in there, and then we're not stuck to like a big, like we don't have to fill up the whole card, or not, like whatever you want to do. I like to decorate the inside of the card sometimes. So I know a lot of the times when I'm filming or I'm on live, I don't. And normally that's strictly because I'm putting this in my card stash and I don't know where it's going, what it's going to be for. I kind of want to leave that open for when I need a card for a purpose, and then I can, you know, put whatever sentiment I want in there. But this is going in my journal. And so I do want to, oops, I'm just wiping everything off here. I have this glass mat from Glassboard Studios. I absolutely love it. But when I'm filming, you get a really bad glare. So I always put my little art mat over it. So I have the New Year's one that they had on sale. I really, really like it. I love this. Really easy cleanup. I love the magnets. Okay, so here we go. This is our Craft Roulette card. Now let's go over the parameters again, because we stretched them with our stretchy pants, which that's fine. Okay, so for episode 309, we have the project is a mini slimline. I have a mini slimline card front on, just mini slimline card front on my 5x7. I have jolly colors, and to me, these colors are jolly. I think they're happy, fun, spring colors. Element is in the kitchen. Always have to have books, flowers, some tea. My glasses are always in the kitchen. Random is mask or masking, and that is what I did with the little faux doilies. And I have the dried ones over here. I could have put these inside the card too. I'm going to put this in the journal. So this is with the Distress Spritz Antique Linen. So you can kind of see how that comes out. And it's a lot of fun. And I just purchased these on Amazon. They are food grade, so they're meant for like bakers and fun things like that. I'm going to snap a few pictures of these. I'm going to submit it, upload it, and then I'm going to upload my video into Craft Roulette gallery as well. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you guys are having a great week. I'm having a bit of a difficult week, so I'm really glad that I was able to take some time out for some self-care. I really hope you guys are prioritizing yourself, your mental health, and your creative spirit, because that's very important for everyone around you, including yourself. And I hope you guys come back on Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for some live fun. I have a special project I'm going to be starting. I don't know if I'm going to finish it or not, but I'm going to be starting it this Sunday. So I'm very excited about that. And I hope to see you guys around soon. Bye, guys.